Hi, my name is Megan Ewell, and this is Jessica Reberg, and we are Davenport University Occupational Therapy students. The title of our group today is Vamos a comer, let's eat. And we are so excited to lead this group for you today and to make some delicious trail mix. Our focus for today's session is for you all to engage in a leisure activity and to encourage you all to talk with one another and share some of your favorite recipes, as well as identify some future activities that you can participate in together. So in times like these, it is so important to prioritize the activities that make you happy and to spend time with others if possible. So our group is going to last about 30 minutes today, but please feel free to pause us and rewind at any time during the session. So to start us off, we're just going to do a fun little warm-up activity to get us all talking and to break the ice a little bit. So Jessica and I will both start sharing a little bit about ourselves just so everybody's a little more comfortable. And we're going to start by sharing our favorite recipe to make and why this is our favorite recipe. So to start us off, my favorite recipe to make is pepper steak. I've been making this for about 5 years since I kind of moved out of the house. And this is my favorite because it just reminds me of my childhood. And going over to my grandma's house, she would make the most delicious pepper steak ever. And I learned how to make it from her, so it really just has a special place in my heart. And Jessica, you can go ahead and share yours.
Awesome. So my favorite recipe is called Gallo Pinto. It's a dish that I learned how to make when I was living in Costa Rica. My mama Tika taught me how to make it, and to make it, you have to have rice, beans, and then veggies. So for the vegetables, I use celery, green peppers, onion, and jalapeno. I fry up my vegetables, and at the same time as I'm frying my vegetables, I make a pot of rice. So when the rice and the veggies are done cooking, I mix them in together. And then I take a can of black beans and I drain them. And then I mix the beans in and mix it all together and then add whatever seasonings I want. So for example, like onion powder and garlic powder are two of my favorites. When I used to make this in Costa Rica, my mama Tika would use salsa Lizano, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. I don't have any of that right now, so I typically don't use that, but it does add a very nice taste. So this is my favorite recipe just because it reminds me of Costa Rica and all of the wonderful memories I made there. It also reminds me of my mama Tika, who I really loved and loved to spend time with. So that would be my favorite recipe. And now I have a question for all of you guys. And you guys can pause the video. Megan and I will also pause for about 30 seconds to allow other people to answer this question. But the question is, if you could only have one food for the rest of your life, what would this food be? For me, I would pick pasta. So we will pause now and allow at least 3 participants to answer this question. Okay, so hopefully at least 3 people got the opportunity to answer that question. And like I said earlier, if you need to pause the video, please feel free. So our goal throughout this session is to have you guys talk to at least 2 other people around you and share your favorite recipe with them. We'll be doing this a little bit later when we make our trail mix, but we just wanted to give you guys a heads up right now that that's what we'll be doing. So we thought this was a good way to learn something new about the people around you. It's a fun activity. I know a lot of us really like cooking. So when you share your favorite recipe with the other person, you can also share how long you've been making it and one positive memory that you associate with this recipe. All right, so moving forward, Megan and I strongly believe that leisure and social participation are very important for people of all ages. As we age throughout life, we are presented with different obstacles, different barriers. We live in different places. We live with different people. First, we live with our parents, then on our own. And as we get older, a lot of times people will move into assisted living facilities. And during those transitions, our leisure activities and our social participation activities, so just the people who we engage with on a daily basis, those can change. We can face a lot of different barriers when we want to complete these activities. So for example, in my life, I moved from Holland, Michigan to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I have a dog. So one of my favorite leisure activities is taking my dog for a walk. In Holland, I could take her for a walk no matter what time of day it was, no matter where I was. There was not many safety concerns. But when I moved to Grand Rapids, I had to be a lot more mindful of where I was going. I had to make sure it's light outside when I took her for a walk. So there was new obstacles and new barriers based on where I was living to be able to engage in that leisure activity, which I'm sure many of you can relate to. So Meg and I did some research, and we found that as people age and as they move into assisted living facilities, a lot of times they only engage in about 34% of the fun activities that they were doing prior to moving into their new place. So we took this research and we thought that it was important to give you guys the opportunity to engage in a fun activity that can be meaningful and important to you. We chose cooking because it can increase our happiness and our satisfaction, and it can also decrease some stress. So like I mentioned earlier, our goals is for you guys to talk to 2 other people, share your favorite recipe with them, a positive memory associated with it, and how long you've been cooking it, and then also to identify at least one new activity that you can try within the next 2 weeks. So an example of this is maybe you could cook one of the recipes that you guys talk about today.
All right. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing all that wonderful information. So now it's actually time to make this trail mix that we've been talking about. So each table should have a nice open space you guys can work, and you should also have a couple other people that you can talk to, because as we said, we encourage you to share your favorite recipe throughout the whole time we're making this. So each table should have a bag of pretzels, a bag of M&Ms, and then a bag of mini marshmallows. So yeah, Jessica will show us all on the screen what those will look like. And then as for the supplies you'll need, so we need you all to have 3 either medium-sized bowls, kind of just this size, or even a cup works, anything that's kind of functional for you to be able to see all of your ingredients and make it a lot easier to measure, that works. And then you'll just need a little Dixie cup about this size just to kind of help you measure out the ingredients a little bit more, just so we can get a better idea of what's going into our trail mix. So while you're completing it, don't forget to talk to the people around you, and feel free to pause me or to rewind at any time, because I'll go through these a little bit faster, and then you can always go back and rewatch if you need to. So first, we just need you all to take those bags that we said and separate them into your 3 separate bowls, just like this, so you can see everything in front of you. So I'll just allow you guys about 30 seconds again, just to kind of get yourself together a little bit, have all of your ingredients in front of you. All right, hopefully that was enough time for you all to separate your ingredients. If not, feel free to pause me once again, but each of your bowls should just look like this. So one with marshmallows, one with M&Ms, and then one with our pretzels. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start constructing our trail mix. So take your Dixie cup, and then make sure you have your Ziploc bag. Just, you can leave it open just so it's easier to put everything in. And then you're just gonna take 2 Dixie cups full of each ingredient. So we'll start with marshmallows. So just take 1 Dixie cup, make sure it's just filled to the top, but also feel free to kind of construct this however you want it to be. It's your own trail mix, so feel free to omit anything that you don't want in there, or put less of any of the ingredients that we suggest. These are just kind of general guidelines to make our trail mix. So that's 1 scoop, and then I'm gonna do my 2nd scoop. All right, so you should have your marshmallows all done now. And now we can move on to our M&Ms. So just same thing, 2 Dixie cups full of that. So we'll start with 1. Get 1 more. All right, so everybody should have their M&Ms and their marshmallows done now. And then our last ingredient is the pretzels. Okay, 1 scoop. And then 2. All right. So I'll give you guys a few more seconds just to finish that up. I'll pause for about 15 seconds now. Okay, that's my timer. All right, now that all of your ingredients are compiled, you can close your Ziploc bag. Just make sure you get all of the air out. Make sure it's nice and close so none of your ingredients are flying around on the table. All right, perfect. Now the next step is we're just gonna shake it up, kind of toss it around, make sure all of our ingredients are kind of mixed together so that it's easier for you all to eat.
Yum.
Yeah, right? Okay. So feel free to do this until it's kind of what you want it to be, what you want it to look like. I think that looks pretty mixed. All right, and yours should look like this. Oh, Jessica's looks a lot more mixed than mine, but feel free to keep going and just until it's to what you desire it to be. Okay, perfect. So now that we're all done with that, so that's pretty much it for the trail mix. Feel free to munch on this as we go through the rest of our session, and we hope you guys enjoyed making this, and we hope that you also took the time to find out something new about the people you're sitting at your table with. If not, feel free to pause us, continue your conversations. We want to encourage you guys to talk with one another during this. And then moving on, Jessica will just have some more questions just to kind of get us all reflecting on what we just did and talking a little bit more.
Awesome, Meg. Thank you. So the first question that I have for you guys is, what was your favorite ingredient that we added into the trail mix? For me, my favorite ingredient is the M&Ms. I'm a big chocolate. Pause now and allow you guys some time to talk about your favorite ingredient. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys were able to share that with the other people sitting around you. And the next question that we have for you is, what is one thing that you enjoyed about the group today? For me, the thing I enjoyed most is this looks a little bit different because we had to do the group virtual, but Megan and I both really enjoyed learning about you guys, learning about your organization. We did some research in the past. We also talked to our professor a lot about you guys as a group, and we think it's really amazing. We're very thankful that we had this opportunity. So that was my thing that I enjoyed most about the group, and also the delicious trail mix. So I will pause again and allow you guys to have some time to discuss your favorite thing about the group today. Awesome. So that wraps up my 2 questions, and now Meg has some more questions for you guys.
All right, so just to do a little more reflecting, we just have a few more questions to go through with you all. So the first one I have is, how did you all feel about today's activity? Did you find it enjoyable, or would you participate in a group like this again? And I'll also allow you about 30 seconds for this, but feel free to pause us and take more time. All right, great. Hopefully you all got to share something there. So my next question is, have you ever made homemade trail mix before? And if you have, what was included in your trail mix? I'll allow for another 30 seconds, or feel free to pause me. All right, great. So my next question is, what was easy about this activity for you all? And what was something that was challenging about it for you? Another 30 seconds for that one. All right, great. Just a few more questions for you. So what ingredients would you like to try next time you make a trail mix if you're going to? For example, I would want to try and make more of a savory mix rather than a sweet one like the one we made today. So I'll give you guys another 30 seconds. Please feel free to share or just think about it in your head what your answer would be. All right, great. And then our last question that we have is, one of our goals for today's session was we wanted you all to come up with one new activity that you'd like to try in the next 2 weeks. You can do this with yourself or with a partner as well. But we'd like you to share maybe one thing that you thought of during today's session that you could try. So I'll give you guys another 30 seconds or pause me. All right, great. Hopefully you all could think of something new that you'd want to try or something old that maybe you used to do that you haven't done in a while. So if anybody else has anything else they'd like to share, please feel free to pause me. We're going to move on to the next section, but if you're going to be keeping talking and everything, we want you guys to do that. So please pause the video. Okay, so just to sum up our experience today, I just want to share a couple of the key takeaways that we hope you all gained from today's group. So the first key takeaway is that occupational therapy is all about helping people participate in the activities that are meaningful to them. So participating in leisure activities like this can be so important for the older adult population and really any population at all. And it can help to improve mental health outcomes, especially during such a strange time in the world. And many people have been dealing with feelings of social isolation and mental health struggles due to not being able to participate in their normal occupations. For you ladies, that might mean church services looking a little bit differently, not seeing friends and family as frequently, or not being able to participate in your favorite leisure activities. And then the second takeaway from our group today is that we want you all to make time to do the things that you love and to spend time with your peers, and that's so important for your overall well-being. So we want every one of you to take this information and try to implement it into your daily routine or your weekly routine. And as we discussed earlier in the sharing portion, we wanted each of you to pick a new activity or one you may have missed doing and try to participate in that within the next 2 weeks.
Awesome, Meg. Thank you. So just to reiterate one last time, these leisure activities and social participation activities are very important for our overall health, for our physical and mental health, for our emotional health. They can be really beneficial. COVID-19 and the whole pandemic has really impacted each of our lives in a different way. There's been a lot of negative consequences, unfortunately, but our leisure activities and our social participation activities can help combat some of those negative mental health consequences. And this has been proven with research. So we encourage you to find those activities, to engage in those activities, and to have some fun with them. Cooking, we believe, is a great one because it can decrease stress and it can be very, very fun to engage in. So we hope that you guys had as much fun as we did today. We hope you had the opportunity to engage in conversation with at least 2 other people sitting around you, finding that new activity that you want to engage in, and sharing your favorite recipe. So we hope you ladies are feeling better. We hope you had some positivity come from this video and from this activity. Thank you for bearing with us through the virtual world. And we are very, very thankful to have had this, and we're very thankful to you guys.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.